Welcome to LearnBuilder. My name is Peter, I'm the founder of LearnBuilder and I want to walk you through the first steps. What you see on screen is me being logged in to my account, and you can see I was pretty busy in the past, already created a couple of courses. There are actually two ways how you can create a new course. The first is to create it manually, so you would build it up from the ground. The other possibility is to create it with the help and support of AI. If I create it with the support of AI, the first start here is to upload content materials or knowledge files. I want to create a course on the code of ethics, so I upload a document here with the code of ethics. These could be as many documents as needed. It could be full books if this is needed for your course. You can also extend it by adding a topic or a brief below. Scrolling down, you see the audience definition. So once you set up here the experience level of your audience, are these new beginners? Are these already experienced people you're developing for? So I use mixed here. Then the next part is here, the learning context. I will select compliance training since it fits very much my topic, and you can also add more specifications for the audience in the input field. Then I scroll down to the next section where I can select the language my course is created in. LearnBuilder has around 60 languages and language variations you can choose from. Image style allows you to define which image style is used throughout the whole course by AI created images. We have here a couple of predefined styles, and if you scroll down you will also see that there's a custom style that you can define yourself. I stay with a photorealistic style and click on Done. Then there's another selection here for the tone of the AI. You know, sometimes AI text might find a little bit funny, so here you have the possibility to select between different tones. I keep it on professional. Scrolling down, the next part here is storytelling. And I really like storytelling in e-learning. If you, as a learner, follow a person throughout the whole course, I think it's very engaging and motivating to really finish that course. So I mostly leave that turned on. If you have it turned on, then you can give a name for your main character. I call him Sam. Then I select that he is a male character, and then I can also select a voice for Sam.
God has given you one face, and you make yourself another.
So, let me take George in this demonstration. Then you can also set up the instructional design approach. So there are different predefined choices you have here. You have standard, you have action first, you have objective first, story driven, but you can also create your own custom instructional design approach. I continue with standard. Content density actually defines how much text will show up in the course. If you go for balance, then as the name says, it will find a good balance between text but also interactivities. And then finally, on the bottom of the page here, you can define which block types you want to use. LearnBuilder has around 15 different block types. It could be just content with text and images, or interactive blocks like slideshows, interactive slideshows, could be also videos. So here you can select actually which block types should be used. If you keep it on balance, then you leave it up to the instructional design AI to select the right block for the right content. So I'm done with the settings on that screen. Clicking on Next will actually now set up the AI in the background. So the document that you uploaded in step 1 is now getting analyzed based on the other settings you created. So who is your target audience? How is the tone? And based on all these settings, these fields here are filled for you. So you will have the course title, you will have the description, you will have a cover image, and also the tags will be filled for you. Depending on the amount of materials you uploaded, this might take a couple of minutes to show up. And what is also important to note here is that everything which is pre-filled here is completely editable by you. So throughout LearnBuilder, the AI helps you to create lessons and to create a course, but you always stay in full control. You can change every sentence, you can change every learning outcome. It's always you in the final quality control of the course. So let's have a look at what was created. So course title here, which I like, a quick description for the course, and also an image down here and the tags. When I click on next, I see proposals for the learning objectives based on the content that I uploaded before, and also a story written by the AI. Scrolling down, you can see the character photo. It's important to note that LearnBuilder will reuse that photo throughout the whole course in different situations. So if we have Sam with that face, he might show up in different AI dialogues. He might show up in a video, and the AI keeps it consistent throughout the whole course. Once you're happy with all these settings, you click Create Course, and this is how we add up with our first course on LearnBuilder. Up here you see we are in draft mode, naturally, because we don't have any content yet, and it set up the title, it set up here the language. This is actually where you can then add more languages later on. The description is showing up below, as well as also the tags. If I scroll down, you can see that currently, based on the structure we created before, there are lessons created. So you see each lesson now shows up here with the name of the lesson, a short description, and also the performance outcomes. It's now about you as the creator of that course to have a critical look at these lessons. Do they cover the learning outcomes you want to cover? Are they making sense from the structure, and so on? You're the instructional design expert here. You tell LearnBuilder how to proceed. If you don't like an outcome, you can either just edit it right away in the input field, you can delete it, or you can also add more outcomes. Scrolling down that page, you will see all in all 7 lessons were created. That depends very much on the amount of content you upload. If you upload a full book, it might come up with 14, 15 lessons, so it might create really a lot of content for you. Once you're happy with the lessons and the outcomes as they were defined here, you click on Accept Proposal and Create Lessons. What happens in this step? So actually, LearnBuilder is not creating the lesson content yet. It just created this lesson structure. Looking at the first lesson, you see it shows 0 blocks, so there's no content yet. I click on the course, on the lesson here, and then you can see it. There are no blocks in that one. Now again, you have 2 possibilities. Do you want to go the manual way? Then you just click on Add Block and add blocks. Or you can make use of the AI to create all the blocks for you. And this is what I will do now in this presentation. So now, based on the learning outcomes of this lesson and on the materials you uploaded, on the audience you defined. Our specialized instructional design AI now creates blog content. Blogs, as I said before, could be all kind of content. So we are not just creating quizzes and text and images. No, LearnBuilder goes way beyond and also creates simulations, AI dialogues, graphs, so a lot of different learning content to make it really a lively learning experience for the learner. So this is what happens now in the background. Depending on the amount, this can take a couple of minutes, and actually LearnBuilder will start to show the elements that were already created in the background and then fill in the rest while you continue to wait, or you have a coffee, or you do work on something else. So you can always come back to this page even if not the full structure is already there. So since we are waiting anyway, I can probably show you another feature here. So on the top and right, you see here, on the bottom right, you see here a button which is called Ask LearnBuilder. If you click on Ask LearnBuilder, this is bringing up a tutor who can teach you how you can use specific functions in LearnBuilder. It has here a couple of questions you can ask, or you can input your own question here and get an answer. So let me ask, what is the interactive slideshow? And it will now come up with an explanation. The interactive slides block number 8 in your current lesson. So it's taking also account of what I've already created here. Is a feature-rich simulation tool that combines a visual canvas editor with a trigger action interaction system. So I like this block a lot. We don't go into details of that block in this very first video, but I will create one to give you more insight in what you can do with an interactive slide block. Alright, while I was talking and trying to fill the time, you see that LearnBuilder actually has the first content filled in. Currently, it's still creating images. So let's have a look down. We see here a placeholder for a talking head video. These might take a bit longer, so 5 to 10 minutes. So this will be filled. Then down here, you see some text content, which was inserted. Chapter 1, the new baseline, a bit more of text here, then images coming up. Okay, we got reloaded now, so we will see the first images. Here, actually a hotspot interactivity was created, so it created these hotspots here, and it also let me check what it created. A click order exercise actually. So learners click hotspot in a specific sequence. So this is what the instruction probably says above here. Then scrolling down further, more text here and a drag and drop interactivity with 2 drop elements or drop targets and 4 drag elements here. Then here it's creating an interactive simulation. So this, similar to the video, might take some time and will show up later. More text here. And here we have an AI dialog block. So it's using the image of Sam. So it created that image here and created a dialogue from it. And for the dialogue, it also created different emotions for Sam. You see here, Sam got like the background removed, and here you see different emotions that are showing up. And these emotions will be used during the dialogue depending on your conversation with Sam. The dialogue block has a lot of settings. I also don't go into the details here, since this is just an overview video. But as you can see here, you have like a role description of the characters, and you also have a role description of the learner. You can add multiple characters and can create really rich scenarios where the learner takes an active part to create a dialogue with the AI roles that you defined. More text here. Then it came up with a graph. So a graph has a table of data here, and then you have the selection of different graph types, how to show the elements. So sometimes you really need to dig into the meaning of it to make sure the way how it's showing up makes sense. Then it created a knowledge check, so a quiz. We see here 2 multiple choice questions. I won't explain that in details because most people know multiple choice. What might be something interesting for you is actually short answer, long answer, text questions. So we have a question here, briefly explain why relying on your gut feeling, on personal intuition is insufficient when dealing with a high-stakes compliance edge case. And then what is created here is a grading criteria. So the learner should mention that regulations are strictly defined by formal policies, not personal morality. Should mention that good intent does not exclude policy breaches, does not excuse policy breaches. And then a passing score is also created here. So this gives you the possibility to ask open-ended questions and give rich feedback from the AI. You can therefore create either this rubric or grading criteria or a model answer. This is a very, very nice way to assess the learner's knowledge. And finally, the latest block down here, you see that 2 self-reflection questions were created. One is a star rating and the other one is a free text, mainly to assess how confident the learner after lesson 1 is already with the basic concepts. So another part I like a lot about LearnBuilder is that you have an instant preview. So for now, I was showing you the edit view, where you can change all the settings, where you can see the setup, but in the end, you also want to see how does it look for the learner. And this is really just one click away. So you click on preview and you see exactly the lesson, how the learner will see the lesson later on. There's no building process, there's no waiting time. It's right there, super convenient, and speeds up the creation of e-learning a lot from my experience. So let's have a look at these AI dialogues since we are here already. So this is our situation. Sam has pulled you aside in a hallway. He wants to bypass a standard data verification step to keep his new global project on track. Okay. So, what are you up to, Sam? So you ask that question, and then Sam answers. He's happy. Oh, hey, just trying to figure out a way to shave 2 weeks of the R&D timeline. I'm thinking about skipping a few redundant data validation steps. Clearly, we don't want him to do that because we're the good guys here. So this sounds like a great way. Be careful, Sam, even if your intentions are good. That sounds risky. Why don't you ask your manager? So there are different ways so to select one of these, or I could also type in my own answer if I want that. Let me select that one here. Be careful. Oh, he's surprised. Termination. Come on, that's a bit dramatic, isn't it? So this is how this interactive AI dialogue works like. I think it's a very nice way to involve the learner actively. I like the reactions of the roles that are played by AI, and the feedbacks they give is usually very, very good. Also, once you finished up the dialogue, you will get like an overall feedback of your performance, and it's giving you ideas how to improve in the future. Very practical. So let me scroll down here. So the video is still in the makings. You see here the text. You see here hotspot, won't start. Okay. Yeah. So I probably need to read the instructions. It's not just about clicking somewhere. Here is our drag and drop interactivity. Yeah. So this is more or less, yeah. And what we see here is a simulation. So let's go back to edit mode, because I can see that the simulation is a little bit cut off here. But what is the magic here, let's have a look at these comment, is what was created by AI in the background. A simulated email client interface showing Sam's inbox with 3 unread emails. The learner must click each email to read it. Email 1, a friendly window, and so on. So this is really a real simulation of a workplace environment. And this is not just created and done here, and you can use it or not use it, but this is fully editable by you as the course designer. I click on Edit Slide, and then you can see that these elements here are actually showing up in the builder. And I can start to now rearrange and make this look really good. There are multiple slides that are showing here, and then also a kind of a review slide in the end. This is very rich. This is a bit like a storyline kind of builder right inside of LearnBuilder. So it has interactions, it has different properties for the elements. You can really become creative here to create simulations, interactions that are really way beyond most of the e-learning that you see in the wild. Furthermore, you can even use AI to either change single elements, to create completely new slides, or to even create a full new interaction. So I think this is a really, really interesting interaction to use. I will come back later to create a video, especially on the interactive slides builder. I think in the meanwhile, if I saw it, no, we don't have the video yet, so this will still take some time. So I could continue to talk about LearnBuilder because I just love it, but for now I will take a leap forward and then see you back once the video is created, so that we finished to create that first lesson. So, hi, I'm back, and we see here the video was created. This is like a talking head video with Sam as our main person. Let's have a quick look at it.
Hi, I'm Sam. I recently got promoted to oversee a global cross-functional initiative here at Lumina Therapeutics. I used to pride myself on keeping my teams running smoothly.
So the way he says Lumina, I was trying the whole morning. I couldn't make it work, but I like it. It's probably American, right? So, well done.
Hi, I'm Sam.
Okay, this is now the first lesson created. Going back to my overview here, I can see 15 blocks here, but that's only the first out of 7. You can now continue to create lesson by lesson. The other possibility here is to create missing content. So you can just click and then all lessons will be created one after the other. Once you're done, you can also export lesson, you can actually also delete lessons, add, you can import to, and then at some point you would like to publish your course. So you have the share button here. There are different ways to share your course. If it's the first version and you just want to show it to colleagues or to friends to review it, then the reviewer is the right option here. You can just add people by their email and they will get access to your course. This works if the course is in draft mode. Then as soon as you want to invite external people to take the course, you have different options again. People I invite, so you just have like specific email addresses of people you want to invite. Anyone with this account, so you can invite people to your LearnBuilder account, and anyone who might have access to other courses then will also have access to this course. Anyone with a link, so the course is not public, but you can send links and then they can take the course, and then there's one public on the web. So this works without any login. Drawback is that the process is not stored for learners, since we don't have really a way to store it. But if you just want to have a public course, this could be very practical. For example, you want to show your portfolio of courses you created, put them public on the web, and nobody needs to register on LearnBuilder. They can just go and have a look. Very practical. Okay, and then we have more functions here. I won't go into the details, but I think this rounds up our first course, the first idea how to use LearnBuilder, and I thank you very much for sticking to the end, and I hope you see you signing up, asking me questions, and looking other videos that I will produce in the future. Thanks again, and see you soon.